Goodreads, what's up? Today, we're going to talk about whether or not The Midnight Library by Matt Haig is overrated. See you after the jump. So I think I'm going to make a new series on this channel about really popular books and whether they're overrated or not. I already did a Lord of the Rings video a while back and asked if it was overrated or not. I didn't really have an official ranking system, so I think I'm going to make one now. And I think my official ranking system is going to be no, a little bit, a lot of it, or yes. Now, I don't want to spoil it, but if you watch my Lord of the Rings, the answer was no, it is not overrated. So we're going to talk about The Midnight Library. It has gotten a lot of acclaim. It's been on the New York Times bestseller list. I have been personally hearing so much about it on my Bookstagram, on my BookTube. Everyone's reading it. Everyone's loving it. They're putting it as one of their top books of 2020. So I was super curious. It also won Goodreads Literary Fiction Best Reads of 2020 award, and it barely beat out Anxious People. So it's a highly praised book. So I went into it with very high expectations. And so, did I think it was overrated? And my answer is a little bit. It's a very good book. Like, really, it's just a little bit overrated. I really enjoyed it. It's a super fast-paced read. I read it in under 48 hours. It hooks you from the beginning and really has this fast-paced story that's very entertaining and very interesting. It's still a very good book. In my personal ranking system, I gave it a 4 out of 5. It's just that I can usually tell right when I read a book if it's going to be a contender for my top 10 books of the year or top 5. And this one I can already tell isn't going to be that contender. It was a very good book. I was very entertained, but it just wasn't that good to me to immediately be at like some top of my best books I've ever read list. It just didn't blow me out of the water like, say, Anxious People did, which was a runner-up. I think that probably, in my opinion, deserved to be the best Goodreads book for literary fiction of the year. I think the beginning of this book is the strongest. It's an extremely fast read. I was super entertained the entire time through. I read this book in under 48 hours, so it was obviously good. It was fast-paced. I was very into it. The beginning is the best because Haig does such a good job of describing how Nora feels. He does such a good description of depression and anxiety in a way that isn't burdensome or overbearing, but allows us to have actual empathy for Nora rather than just sympathy. Like, I felt like I was in her shoes. He really writes in a way that made me feel what she was feeling, which I thought was very cool. I also love this idea of the Midnight Library. I really like how the author handled regret, and I feel like there was a lot of really profound messages in there about our lives and how we regret things. But by the end of the book, I sort of felt like it was the tone of voice one of your friends uses when they're like, "Look how profound I'm being. I'm sprinkling wisdom at you." Like, it felt like it was trying to tell me how profound it was rather than just being profound. And it just kind of, I don't know, got on my nerves a little bit. It's like, well, this book isn't that profound. It just kind of felt like the book was pushing that profound narrative on me. It was telling me rather than showing me. And I know this is a little petty, but when you start quoting Robert Frost's "and two roads diverged," like in a novel that's supposed to have a lot of philosophy, like, I don't know, maybe it was just my English teachers that scarred me from that poem. It's just like so overused. So it just kind of ended up being like a little corny, a little cheesy, rather than profound in that moment, which just hurt the novel for me. I also didn't have a super emotional reaction to this book, which is a little unfair. I don't really emotionally react to many novels. That's just not my personality. I'm just not really like an emotional person like that. But comparing it to Anxious People, which made me like tear up and kind of cry for like the last 30 pages, this one just like didn't pull at my heartstrings. Like, it was a sad story. It had a lot of sad and happy and bittersweet moments, but not enough to really move me. So like, personally, that's why this just didn't rank like this 5 stars for me. Anyway, this isn't a video to say that this book is bad. It's not. It's super good. I really enjoyed it. I'd probably unreservedly recommend it to everyone I know. I think people would really enjoy it. But this video is about, is this book overrated? And I just think it's a little bit, just a teeny tiny little bit. Not very much, but just a little bit. Like, I was expecting to really be blown out of the water with all of the praise and the overwhelming like awards it's won from People's Choice, and it just didn't do that much for me. But it's still an excellent book, and I recommend you reading it. I really enjoyed it. Go read it. It's fast-paced. It's a good start to the year. I think you'll really enjoy it. It just won't be probably on my top 10 of 2021. So I want to know what you think. Did you love this book? Did you think it's not overrated at all? Do you feel like it deserves everything it's got? Tell me in the comments below. I want to know. And as always, if you like this video, please like and subscribe. And if you want to see what I'm currently reading, you can check me out at bookborn.reviews on Instagram. I'll see you next time. Bye.